week 3. So, we got interrupted by some snow days, so I'm making this video to just go over what we went over for Tuesday Guitar Club, but then Wednesday Guitar Club folks are going to watch this video and hopefully learn what they need to. And if you got guitars at home, you can be practicing, and if not, we can work on that stuff at school when we get back. All right, so just a review, we learned Smoke on the Water first week. Right, and then the second week we learned where a couple of notes are G, D, E, and C, or one of the options to play each of those notes. And there's a loop video that I put into the Google Classroom for Music so that you could hopefully play along with that and get some experience playing with a band, if you will. So, you know, this play along video doesn't change, so you have to keep up with it, right? So we're developing a sense of time, a sense of rhythm. It's pretty cool. So let's review where those notes are real quick and then talk about some new stuff that we want to learn. So the G that we're using is right here. It's the 3rd fret on the E string. So this is my E string, and this is my A string. So the thickest string, the one closest to the ceiling, is my E string. The one just under that, the second thickest string, is the A string. So on the 3rd fret, 1, 2, 3, on the 3rd fret, that's where I'm going to put my pointer finger. Whatever finger works best for you, scratch that. Use your pointer finger because we're going to build on this. But yeah, 3rd fret E string, that is your G note. Your D note is the 5th fret on the A string. 5th fret on the A string, that's your D as in Delta note. Then your 3rd note that you want to know is your E, and that's just your open E string. So open means I'm not going to use any part of my fretting fingers or fretting hand. Just going to play that string all by itself. Then the 4th note we want to know is C, and that is the 3rd fret on the A string. Cool? So the first goal that you want to be able to do is to just find those notes as quickly as you can. So find your G, find the D, find the E, find the C, and then do a loop of that. Do a loop of that so you don't ever have to stop. G, D, E, C, G, D, E, C, G, D, E, C, over and over and over. And then once you've got that down really well, then you start trying to play along with the video in the video link that I provided. I'll provide that again this week as well. And just on the screen, you see 2 rows. You see 1 row of letters, G, D, E with a little M next to it. That means E minor, but we're just going to focus on the E part of that, and a C. So G, D, E, C. And then under that, you see 1, 2, 3, 4. If the G, all of those are white. So if they change to red, that's the one you're supposed to be doing. So if the G turns red, that's the one you're supposed to be playing. If the D turns red, that's the one you're supposed to be playing. So that makes it really easy to follow along. And then the numbers under that are how we count. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just over and over and over like that on just like an infinite loop. So I've light those up in red as well, but you don't have to play anything different. Those are just telling you how long it's going to be until, you know, the G changes over to the D. Hope that makes sense. It should make sense if you watch that video and try and play along with it. So that should make sense. So what we're going to do, that's just a review of what we did in week 2. So in week 3, what we're going to do is we're going to add a note to play with each one of those. So for example, G is going to turn into this, what we call a power chord. And D is going to be a power chord. E will be a power chord. And C will be a power chord. Cool? So I can start doing stuff like this. That's the goal here. Now, we have to get to a point to where we can do that. So let's talk about each one of those. So with the G, where I put my pointer finger on the 3rd fret of the E, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ring finger now on the 5th fret of A. And I'm going to strum both of those at the same time. So I got G and my power chord note that I'm going to add. And I'll strum them at the same time and it'll sound like that. It's really cool sounding. It sounds like rock and roll. All right, now that shape that we kind of create there is going to be the same at every power chord position. So when I go to play my D note, I'm going to put my ring finger in the same kind of a shape as when I did the G note here, right? So I'm going to put my ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string. The D string is the 3rd one down from the top. So I go E, A, D. So I'm going to go to the 7th fret on that and put my ring finger, and I'll get that right there, which is a power chord. And I'll talk more about what power chords are later, and I don't want to get into that now because I don't want to confuse anybody, but there's power chords are really cool because they're very, very useful. So we learn these power chords and we can play lots and lots of songs with them. When I play the E note, what I'm going to do is take my pointer finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the A string, and then strum the E and the A string. When I do my C power chord, it's going to look just like my D power chord, but I'm going to slide it down so that my pointer finger is on that C note again, all right? So my pointer finger will be on the C, which is the 3rd fret of the A string. Then my ring finger is going to be on the 5th fret of the D string. So you can kind of see how, I say shape sometimes when I refer to chords. So look at my hand here and pretend like it's frozen and all I'm doing is moving it. So it's like I used Photoshop to kind of trim around it, and I'm just freezing it and moving it to a new spot now. So that doesn't look any different really than when I was over here, right? Looks the same shape. Cool. All right, so my G power chord's right here. My D power chord's right here. My E power chord's right here. And my C power chord's right here. So we're playing 2 notes at the same time, and that's going to start adding what we call harmony and making a big sound. Cool? So we started with this, just 1 note at a time. Playing along with our video loop, and now what we're going to do this week is try to add power chords into the mix. Okay, so just like I said when I said, hey, find your G, D, E, C without the loop on until you get really good at finding those really quick. Do the same thing with these power chords. Just don't even play with the loop on. Just find them, get to them, and practice getting to them before you have the timing on of the video. Cool? All right, so one more thing that I want to review that I may have talked about in the week 1 video is the string names. And I want you to do your best to memorize those. And everybody in week 2 did a really good job. Tuesday, week 3 Tuesday Guitar Club is really doing a good job memorizing those string names. So high five to all of you. I'm sure the Wednesday group is doing just as well. So it's E, A, D, G, B, E. So what I like to do, this is kind of a little, sorry, I'm looking at my timing on the video. I thought it froze, but it didn't. So E, A, D. I like to point at it with my finger, look at it with my eyes, and say it with my voice. Just the first 3. E, A, D. Do that 10 or 15 times. E, A, D. Pause. E, A, D. Maybe like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. E, A, D. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. E, A, D. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Cool. Do that 15 times. Shouldn't take you hardly any time at all. Do the same thing with the next 3 strings. G, B, E. Pause. G, B, E. Pause. Do that 15 times or so. You'll have these things memorized in no time. If you got a guitar at home, you can do that like once a day for a week. You'll have these strings memorized. Cool. Now let's talk about memorizing the notes on the neck. What? That's a big job, right? So we're just going to take it 2 strings at a time, and we're only going to do so many. So what I'm going to do is we'll talk more about why each fret is named what it is, But for now, I'm just going to teach you a few that I need you to know real bad, okay? So I need you to know that this string is E and this string is A. So the first string is E, the first string is A. You guys know that already. But we're going to start talking about some of the what we call natural notes on there. What's the difference between a natural note and an unnatural note? We don't call them unnatural notes, we call them accidentals, but those are, if you've ever heard somebody say B flat or F sharp, that's what they're talking about. So I only want you to learn the naturals. So we're going to put the first fret on the E string, that's called F. The third fret on the E string is called G. The fifth fret on the E string, wait, I'm going to back up here. I think I said the wrong thing. So, scratch everything I just said. First fret on the E string is called F. The E string again, third fret is G. The fifth fret on the E string is called A. Now, those are the only three I want you to memorize right now on the E string. Now let's move to the A string. So we got the A string, right? It's open A. The second fret is B. A string third fret is C. A string fifth fret is D. A string seventh fret is E. So those are the only notes I need you to memorize right now. E string, first fret F. Third fret G. Fifth fret A. A string. Second fret B. Third fret C. Fifth fret D, and seventh fret E. Cool. If you guys can memorize all that, that would be fantastic. If not, we're going to work on it in Guitar Club next week. And enjoy your snow days. Ta-ta.